Hey folks, see Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a live stream which is about knowing a lot about Tarsons products. I'm sure everyone knows that this company is coming up with an IPO. So I thought, why not request the director of the company to come on our channel, and we will be asking him questions about the company. And it'll be surely a great opportunity for everyone, because whenever we try and analyze a company, we would generally go through the RHP, initially through the DRHP, try and understand the business model by ourselves, try and understand the financials by ourselves, try and understand the challenges by ourselves. But it would be an amazing thing to hear about the company from the person who is involved in the business operations day in and day out. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Rohan Sehgal, who happens to be the whole-time director of the Kolkata-based Tarsons Products Ltd. So I'll just add him on the stream, and then we'll get started. Hello, Rohan. How are you? You're on mute, Rohan. We can't still hear you, I guess. Let me just ask my audiences. Are you able to hear Mr. Rohan? No. No. Rohan, could you please check your mic? No, you're not audible. I can read your lips. Could you again speak something?
Yeah.
I think that might be the problem. There's Santoshji might have to put himself on mute, I guess. Then he'll be audible. Guys, please bear with this technical glitch. Just hold on for a minute. We should be able to get this sorted. Not audible. Okay, yeah, I get that. We will just try and try to see if we can just sort this out. Please connect headphones. Okay, one suggestion maybe. Let's see. Akash is saying asakasakai. All right, happens. I think everyone has gone through these technical glitches, especially post COVID, when we have tried to learn all these new things. So
Yeah, I think now it looks good, right?
Yeah, perfect. It's amazing. All right. So amazing. I think with that, let me again welcome you on our channel. So any opening thoughts for today's stream?
No, I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to answering all the questions which you may have for me today. Thank you.
Cool. So I've taken down some questions so that I should not be missing out asking any important questions. So I did go through the RHP of your company, but it would be great if we get to know about the journey of this company in brief. And I guess whatever I read about the story started small and now getting listed. So how has this
Sure.
journey been?
So this company was started by Sanjeev Sehgal back in 1983, and prior to that, he was in a business of meters. That business shut down in 1983, and that's when he met one of his researcher friends who showed him an Eppendorf microtube, and that's how the idea of Tarsons was conceived. Back then, the business, it was quite challenging for the first 10, 15 years because the addressable market was really small for laboratory consumables in India. And most of the market was dominated by multinational players from US, Europe, and Japan. And the technical know-how was lacking as well for indigenous manufacturers from India to match global standards. So went through a lot of struggle. It was like a very difficult period, 10, 15 years. The first big breakthrough came around 95, around 94, 95, when we imported indigenous technology from the US, from Europe. And that's what changed everything, turned everything around. Product quality started improving, acceptance started coming in. And slowly, as we moved into state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in 2002, we built a line of certified bottles and carboys that put us right on the map and elevated our brand image. And we were seen as a threat to multinational dominance in India. And that's what probably elevated our image in India. And then soon after, we entered the international space and have not looked back since then, and grown from strength to strength in the international markets. So that's pretty much how things started at Tarsons, and how the journey started very, very small, but got the main push post 99, 2000, and have grown very, very strongly over the last two and a half decades.
Nice, nice. Wow. So indeed, that's an inspiration about, it's always great starting small and then, growing up to a very big. Uh,
Right, right, right.
so with that, let's move on to the next question. So like you mentioned that initially, uh, from the transition from plasticware, glassware, so I just want to know about that. Was it a conscious choice to be present only in the plasticware and not in the glassware, as many of the MNCs are providing both?
Sure. So multinational companies have a mixture of all the products, since they are a culmination of various organic and inorganic acquisitions. However, the story of Tarsons has been a complete organic story right from the beginning. Our know-how, our interests, and our technology lay in plastic. Unfortunately for us, back then in the 80s and 90s, glass was the dominant material in life science research, because research did not have, research was not advanced into PCR, cell culture, and other high-end technologies as to what it is today. But with the advent of these technologies, plastic started taking over, and today the market in India is almost equivalent between glass and plastic. And plastic is slated to overtake glass and become the dominant material in the research, biotech, pharma, diagnostic, and all allied applications related to scientific research. Internationally, if you look at developed economies like the US, like Europe, plastic has already been the dominant choice of material for the last few years, maybe a decade or longer.
Got it. Got it. So, for a layman, when a person reads about your company, sometimes a layman can get confused as to exactly what's the business model of the company.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
uh, if you can again tell about this for a layman again in simple words.
Sure. So we basically manufacture products which are laboratory plastic consumables, which are used as tools or materials to conduct any form of testing or research. It could be in a diagnostic laboratory. For example, if a person goes to get a test done in a diagnostic laboratory, they take their blood, collect their blood, and then return the results after 24 or 48 hours. So what goes on in the background, collecting the person's blood in a blood collection tube, they go into a laboratory. And in the laboratory, that blood is tested to check whether the person has the ailment for which he has come. So that testing requires plastics, and our products are used as tools for testing or tools for research. Research is done in biopharmaceutical, pharmaceutical, as well as research organizations in order to find new cures to diseases. And Our products are used in that way to find new cures to diseases, or used in diagnostic companies or in hospitals to check diagnostic test results of patients. So it's in a wide variety of applications. Basically, they are used as aids to help in scientific research. It's small pieces of plastic. It could be transferring liquids as small as 2 or 3 microliters.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So whatever material is required for the manufacture of all these laboratory related equipments, I
Right.
read in RHP that almost the total out of the total purchase, 75 more than 75% of the raw material is imported. So
Right.
any specific reason for that, or any plans on adding the local suppliers from
Sure.
which you will procure your raw materials?
We would love to increase our presence with from local sourcing, but we all the commodity grade resins are sourced from India, and all the specialized resins for medical applications which are not manufactured in India are sourced from internationally, because India does not have a manufacture of these grades of resins, and rightfully so, because the market for such medical applications is still a very nascent and growing stage in India. It's already developed and mature in markets like the US and Europe, where most of these manufacturers of raw materials lie.
Okay, got it, got it. So that was about the purchase side question. On
Right.
the revenue side, any end user breakup, any major contributor, if you can talk about on the revenue side?
So it's difficult for us to constitute an identical breakup between customer base, because we generally work through distribution. More than 95% of our revenue is accounted through distribution. So distributors purchase from us and then supply to various customers in their region, which could be various parts of India. We are covered through the territory of India by 141 distributors, but looking at trends, I would believe that about 20 to 25% of our revenue comes each from the diagnostic, the pharmaceutical, and the research space. And the remainder comes from CROs, hospitals, industries, and other various kinds of users of scientific research products.
Great. So you're talking about the distribution network that you have right now.
Sure.
I guess you mentioned almost 141 distributors across
That's
the
right.
country.
That's right.
Is it concentrated in any specific part of India, or is it spread across India?
Our business is our major market is south, followed by the west, then the north, and then the east. Distribution is the highest in the south, followed by the west, then the east, and then the north. But this market share is identical all across the country. So the reason why south is the biggest market is because the geographical concentration of biopharma, pharma, research customers are more focused in the south, followed by the west, then the north, and then the east.
Mhm.
So it is just how the country is, shaped out according to more research being conducted in the south and the west, and that's why more of our revenue is out there. But our penetration in each part of the country is primarily equal all across the country.
Got it. Uh, with the existing distribution that we talked about, I would
Sure.
also like to move on now to future plans. Any plans
Absolutely.
about increasing the three things I would talk about? I would love to
Right.
ask about increase in the distribution network across the country. Future plans for that. Future plans for R&D and future plans for capex.
Definitely. So the distribution network at this moment is well suited to cover our growth plans for the next few years. I think these distributors will be able to handle significant increase in volumes in the coming years. They're well spread out and all across the geography of the country, and we also have a very strong personnel of 55 people all over the country, divided into sales, business development, marketing, and customer care, which aid these distributors in securing the business from various customers all across the country. In terms of R&D spends, we have been spending on R&D right from the very beginning, but however, that was never incorporated into our balance sheet, into our P&L statements, because they came as a part of the actual tooling, molds, automation, and other equipment which was sourced out. The R&D costs were included in that, since our teams collaborated with suppliers all over the world. However, we have built an R&D center here in Calcutta. Just 18 months ago, we started with just 2 people and have grown today to about 12 people. And we look to grow to about 30 to 35 people in the next 3 to 5 years in our R&D department. So we'll be seeing a big focus on R&D as we move into newer technologies and newer products in the future. In terms of the growth, Tarsons historically has always grown as per industry standards, and at times have even beaten the industry forecast and grown higher than what the industry is projected the growth at. And I believe that if we continue with the same discipline, what we have shown over the last 2.5 decades, the future of the next 3, 5, 10 years look no different.
Amazing. Like you said that you have beaten uh, the overall industry performance
Right.
right now. So
Right.
that is about till date. What about
Right.
the outlook in the coming few
Um,
years?
that's what we are aiming for. So we hope to continue with the same discipline, with the same momentum moving forward. We have a few exciting projects in hand coming up in the next 3 to 5 years, as well as certain capacity expansions on our most popular segments, for which we do not have enough capacity to meet demand. So a culmination of the capacity expansion in these in existing product lines as well as new product introduction should give us a good boost in the domestic markets, and expansion into newer geographies and increasing number of wallet share with customers, with our existing international OEM customers, should give us a good boost in the international market. So overall, we are very positive about the future of this industry and the company.
So, do you think that government also has a role to play in this entire industry, in this sector? Because we hear about something like a national health mission. So,
Right.
does it in any way impact your company in a positive or in a negative?
So government has been playing a critical role right from the beginning because, as I said, a good portion, which is about 20 to 25% of our business, comes from research. And research, mainly in India, is funded by public, which is the government. The government of India. We have very prestigious research institutions all over the country, like, for example, CCMB, which is Center of Chemical and Molecular Biology. So these research institutions all over the country are funded by the government and have done a great job, for various years. With the ICMR, the CSIR, and the IARI, which are the three government bodies. And I believe that with the onset of this pandemic, most governments all over the world, including the Indian government, will have an increased focus on research, testing, healthcare, which will always benefit companies like ours, which are at the forefront of such activities.
We did talk about all the, I mean, positive sides of the story till
Right.
now. Any specific risks that you see for your company?
No, I think the single biggest risk, which would be for probably it's a generic risk for most companies, is we have been launching various products, or over the years, and over the last three and a half decades, I think about eight and a half, 9 out of 10 projects always work as per plans. So we continue to have major projects in the future as well. And if we again continue with the same discipline and launch projects with the success with which we've envisioned, I don't see any risk for the company. But in case projects are not being able to be launched with the same far-sightedness and the same vision with what we have planned, there could be growth constraints. But overall, the company is in a very, very good place, and I don't see any major risk or threat for the company.
Got it. This is not exactly a risk as such, but when I was just going through the documents, I found that I guess majority of your competitors comprise of a lot of MNCs. So,
Right.
what could be your competitive edge? How do you tackle this competition coming up from MNCs?
So eventually, this market, when we started, was always dominated 100% by MNCs. Though we were not the first player in India, we were probably the second, third, fourth player in 1983, the fourth Indian indigenous player to start this business. But MNCs are most of the MNCs which are prevalent in India, which have been prevalent for the last 3.5, 4 decades, are high quality companies manufacturing very good quality, consistent products. And what we have been able to do is we've been able to be the first and the preferred choice of laboratory consumables for customers all across the country by being able to deliver consistent, reliable quality over decades. And this has been a big challenge for most of our competitors domestically because of the consistency and reliability spread across the long term period. It's fairly easier to manufacture quality products over a short term period, but to maintain and that reliability and consistency over decades is a big challenge. And we are providing products for research, which is quite a critical job. And the last thing the researcher has to bother about is the quality of the laboratory consumables. Any big movement in the quality affects the research at hand, and that's why this area is a very sticky area, and the researchers are very, very sticky and picky about their brands. So luckily, over 3 decades, we've been able to build a very, very strong brand equity and image in the country, and have a very strong brand recall among the Indian scientific research community.
Amazing. I guess these were like some amazing inputs which we got almost almost 2,000 people watching this, and I think there are a lot of questions which all my viewers are also wanting to ask. Would it be fine if I take a few
Sure.
questions
Please,
from that
please,
section?
please.
Uh, I'll just pull it up on the screen as well. I
Definitely,
hope that will be visible for you. Mr.
definitely.
Subroto asks any specific tiers for Tarsons.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have competitors, both multinationals as well as domestic competitors. If you read our RHP or DRHP, you'd find a complete list of them.
Got it. One more question from Ashwin. Peers, we did talk about. He says P of 62. Is that okay?
No,
So
I think it's
kind
not
of
a
a
62p.
like,
Yeah, there's some error out there. The PE is much lower. It's not at 62.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Bhatt says, very happy to know about Tarsons. Blindly use the products which are of masterclass. Company brochure itself is a great treat to watch, says Mr. Bhatt.
No, I think it is because of people like Mr. Bhatt that Tarsons is where it is today, and there are various users like Mr. Bhatt who rely on our quality. And as our tagline says, it says trust delivered, and rightfully so. A lot of research community all across the country trust on the reliability and quality of Tarsons.
Hmm, absolutely. Uh, Few more questions popping up on the YouTube side.
Sure,
I'll not be able to pull it up on the screen though.
you can
Uh,
read it out, no problem.
yeah, sure. Running pretty fast. Just a second. Uh, is it a B2B company? Asks Kunal.
Yes, it is primarily a B2B company because we are selling to the distribution channel, which in turn sells to our target audience, which pharmaceutical, academia, research, diagnostics, hospitals, and so on.
Mhm.
So most of our business, more than 95%, is accounted through distribution channels.
Got it. One more question from Mr. Abhishek. He says, could you tell us about the breakup from exports and domestic sales?
A third of our revenue comes from international business, and two-thirds comes from the domestic business. We
Okay,
started our international business about 13 years ago in 2008.
got it. Got it. Mr. Sayer asks, what are the top products of Tarsons?
Bottles and carboys are marquee products for Tarsons. They have been that is what changed the game for Tarsons in India and has been a big door opener for us in international markets as well. Followed by liquid handling, centrifuge ware, and cryogenics. They have been very, very strong products and been our top sellers.
Any other questions people would be happy to ask it to Mr. Rohan? I know some questions I can't take up. Okay, I guess more of I mean all the relevant questions. I guess some are obviously answered in the RHP. Chalo, one more question is how will the proceeds from IPO be utilized? I'm sure this will be there in the RHP as well, but if we can
Right.
also
Yeah.
from
The
there.
proceeds are a mix of a debt repayment, funding new capex expansion, and general corporate purposes.
Got it. I guess, yeah, as I mentioned, almost all the important questions which I could pull up from the chat section I have asked. Any specific point which you would want to add before we conclude?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well, and thank you for having me over.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Rohan. So I hope everyone enjoyed this because as I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, Rohan, that always it happens that any person who's trying to analyze any company, we have our own thought process, we have our own
Right.
perspective, but getting answers from someone who sits there across the table, who experiences things day in and day out, that is surely a treat to hear. So thanks a lot once again,
Thank you.
and all the best for your IPO.
Thank you so much, Rachana. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay. All right. So that was Mr. Rohan, who is the whole-time director of Tarsons Products. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. Yes, this is the second or third time that we had some person from the management and come and speak on our channel. Uh, some, I mean, it's always a good thing to interact with these people because we are the ones who might not get an industry exposure day in and day out, so listening from them is always a treat, as I mentioned. So anyways, all in all, that is what we had planned for today's live stream. I hope everyone enjoyed this. Till then, take care. Jai Hind. Bye bye, and see you on next Thursday for the next stocks and news live stream. Bye bye.